I spend hours every single day answering questions on the Employee Retention Credit, also known as ERC. This federal program is available to business owners with W-2 employees and they can potentially get up to $26,000 per W-2 employee back in a refundable payroll tax credit. So today I'm going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions. And if you have not yet checked out this program or shared it with your neighbor or fellow business owners in your community, then after this video, you're definitely going to want to do so. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. So you heard right. I literally spend hours per day. I've got like another little screen up here, sitting at my desk and answering questions about the Employee Retention Credit, ERC. I've partnered with the good folks at the ERC Specialist, this company in Utah, to help business owners figure out their calculations, their analysis, and file for this valuable payroll tax credit. Well, the one thing that still baffles me is that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of information out there, especially on Google, YouTube, and anywhere else. So real quick, before I answer a bunch of questions on here, drop a like for this video. And if you have any questions for me, check out our private Discord server. I just opened up access to that. And we also have a private Facebook group as well. Okay, one of the first questions I get is simply, what is the Employee Retention Credit allowed for? And I'm thinking to myself, allowed for? It's a payroll tax credit, but I understand where the question's coming from. You see, business owners are used to getting money or getting refunds or getting grants and having to use it a certain way. Well, real quick, just to kind of like cut to the chase, this is money you have already paid. You are getting back this money, and it is your money to use however you want. No, it's not a loan. No, it does not have to be used a certain way. This is simply a payroll tax credit that is refunded back to you. Next question is, who is eligible for the Employee Retention Credit? Well, unfortunately, this is going to exclude a large amount of probably people watching right now. If you are a family-run business, so you do not have any employees who aren't relatives or family, then unfortunately you don't qualify. Even if you have W-2 employees like yourself and your spouse, cousin, uncle, whomever. I'm sorry, those are just the rules. Also, my sole proprietors. If you do hair, if you're a handyman, a painter, and you just make like cash under the table, or even if you have like your own studio, but everybody that like you pay or pays you is kind of like a 1099 independent contractor, sole proprietor, then unfortunately that does not qualify. Up next, people like to ask, well, what are the rules of the Employee Retention Credit? Well, simply put, any qualified wages that you paid to an employee after March 12th, 2020, all the way through September 30th, 2021, then they could be counted towards qualified wages for this program. Now, just to be clear, like the rules were different for 2020 compared to 2021. So for 2020, they will give you up to $5,000 back per employee. And for 2021, they were a bit more generous. They'll actually give you up to $7,000 per W-2 employee for quarters 1, 2, and 3. So you're looking at up to $21,000 back. Add those two together, we're looking at $26,000 per W-2 employee. Now, another question I get is like, when's the deadline to file? I do want to do a little bit of a call to action here. The IRS has changed the rules so many times that I'm not confident they're not going to change them again sometime in the future. But as of right now, you still have time. You see, we're going back to retroactively get this money for you. This is money you've already paid. So the deadline is on a quarter by quarter basis, and they give you up to 3 years. So for example, that second quarter of 2020, you would actually have till the end of the second quarter of 2023. So that just keeps like rolling through. But I will say that the IRS is very far behind right now, and you basically just want to get in line to make sure you get your money. How do you claim the Employee Retention Credit? Well, I have to say that it's complicated. Okay, this is not something that the IRS has made accessible to everyday people like me and you. Even if you talk to your accountant, unless they deal with payroll, all the time, then they might not have this literacy, let alone the time in their day to learn a new tax code and then process the analysis for you. Therefore, I mentioned it before, I did partner with the good folks at the ERC Specialist. They're a company out of Utah that does this 24/7. I'll leave a link down below to the free questionnaire. It's worthwhile for you to just click the link and see if you qualify and potentially how much. I would just say be completely honest with your business on the questionnaire. They just added a new feature. If you're looking to do a test questionnaire, do a test questionnaire. And if your business qualifies, then go ahead and hit submit. If you do decide to file with them, they do charge a fee, but I do think it's well worth it to have some specialists kind of getting your back every step of the way. This isn't something I would recommend like doing it yourself. Now, moving on, let's do a couple of rapid fire questions. Can you get PPP and ERC? The answer is yes. But in the analysis, we look at the amounts and the dates of PPP and make sure that you're not applying for and getting ERC on those exact same dates. They don't let you use PPP for wages and then basically get a payroll tax refund for those same wages. How does the employee retention credit affect my taxes? Well, I gotta say, this gets into the weeds a little bit, but I'm gonna give you an answer. And the first answer is you should check with your accountant or your tax professional, because the IRS has changed the rules and like the guidance on this. They were a little unclear or foggy in the beginning, but I'll tell you what they're saying right now. When you get the money and you actually like deposit it in your bank account, then you're supposed to go back to the year where the employee retention credit came from, 2020 and 2021, and amend those business tax returns. Now, specifically, we're talking about the expenses on those returns, quarter by quarter. As you can see, this is going to create a logistical nightmare for the IRS. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're going to try to audit people who get, employee retention credits over a certain amount, like $2 million. They did that for PPP loans. But if they're asking for you to file your 941s, file 941Xs to get ERC, and then go back and amend your business returns, it's just going to be like such a nightmare and a headache. So be on the lookout for new guidance sometime in the future. That's what I anticipate happening. A couple of key takeaways. The employee retention credit, ERC, is something that's been around since March 13th of 2020, but the education and information on it is scarce on the internet. I've made it a mission here to go ahead and read through everything, do my own due diligence, and make video after video trying to help small business owners get back this refundable payroll tax credit. If you are interested in seeing if you qualify, again, I will leave a link down below in the description to a free questionnaire. Go through it, see if it does apply to your business. Just remember, you have to have W-2 employees, and they can't be yourself or family. This is for business owners who pay people differently, and I'm sorry to my sole proprietors or independent contractors out there. Also, if you need some more information on it, I did a video all about how to apply, so you could check that out. And if it does not apply to you, I actually did a whole video on something called the ERC affiliate program. This is kind of like a win-win for you and anybody who owns a business that you know or in your community. Essentially, if you want to tell them about the ERC program and they file using your link, then you get a little commission, they get the refundable payroll tax credit, so it's kind of win-win for everybody. Again, if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down below in the description. All right, feel free to check out my website. It is full of blog posts, other videos, podcasts, all things money. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.